Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Jeffrey Wadley,
I'm Jennifer Ben.
and welcome to another episode of Out Here. Yep. Tonight, we have a special edition. Well, I don't want to call it a special edition, but tonight we're in the studio, and we are going to talk about
R. Kelly.
the R. Kelly conviction. As you guys know, R. Kelly was convicted of multiple federal charges yesterday. I think those charges, some of those charges are racketeering, child trafficking, sex trafficking, child pornography.
I think I'll say the news article that I read just named racketeering and sex trafficking.
Well,
so I don't know if they.
Well, the news article I read. They had a whole list of stuff. Hold on. Let's see. This episode we're probably gonna have our phones because there's a lot of news about R. Kelly. Federal, let's see, blah 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 blah. 25 years accusations. Faces outstanding criminal charges from both Cook County, where he's indicted for aggravated criminal sexual abuse involving 4 victims, 3 of them minors.
Wow.
Look, I can't find the list right now, but it's pretty long, cousin. I guess, and we got some talking points tonight. Let me pull those up for you guys. I got a few things that I kind of want to talk about. And look, I guess the thing is, I'm pretty R. Kelly out today because Jennifer and I have been talking about R. Kelly all day.
I made him watch the documentary.
And she's all like, well, before you can say anything about R. Kelly, you need to watch the documentary. I'm like, look, the documentary is not going to change the fact that this fool been touching little underage girls, and we know that. He peed on a broad. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He peed on a young lady. Let me be more sensitive to my audience here. He peed on a young lady. He supposedly had a woman cult, a freaky cult, or something like that. And
allegedly.
Well, the fool been found guilty now, so ain't no more allegedly about it. And I mean, I guess to start it off. If you like the drip, by the way, this is my. What is this called? This is my Light the Road or something design. It's on the shirt. It's got Martin Luther King, Barack Obama, and Malcolm X with a crowd behind them leading the way to freedom and anti-police brutality. But anyway, if you like it, check it out on creative1customs.com. Creative One Custom, Creative One ONE Customs. Creative number 1 customs.com. We got a lot of nice stuff over there. Anyways, this topic is it's not complicated because, I mean, we've been dealing with the exploits of R. Kelly for almost 30 years now. And I, for one, I can't really say I've ever really been an R. Kelly fan. Before his allegations, I was like, whatever. I guess his music is okay. I'll bump it or whatever. But yeah, I never really been an R. Kelly fan. But I kind of felt like after the video came out with a person that looked like him performing in lewd acts with a minor child, I kind of felt like, that should have been a wrap. And, doing a little research today, we find that like there's been several attempts to prosecute him based on some of his exploits with young girls. And it was not until this latest documentary with, what's it called, Surviving R. Kelly?
Yes.
Where that renewed some attention to a lot of the victims.
And that it came out 2 years ago, I believe.
Came out 2 years ago. He was first picked up, I think, 2 years ago. But because of COVID-19, his trial and all that stuff was kind of like pushed back and all of that. I don't know. There's just so much to dig through talking about this character. I mean, I for one tend to think that R. Kelly is, look, just to be honest, I think the guy is evil incarnate. You know, like, you know, if you look back at all his music, the dude was giving us signals like the whole time, like bump and grind, and you know, sex me.
He wrote age ain't nothing but a number.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Like, your body's telling me no, or your mouth telling me no, your body's telling me yes. I mean, you know, when you apply these things to children, it's like this guy. I mean, was perfectly aware of what he was doing. I mean, to take on a name like the Pied Piper, which, if those of you don't know the story of the Pied Piper, just really quickly, there's a rat problem in England, and no one can get rid of the rats. So there's this Pied Piper character that they find that has a flute that he plays, that he can lure all the rats out of the city. So I think he plays this flute. All the rats follow him out of the city, and he lures them into like a lake or something, and they all drown and die or something like that. So after all the rats are gone, then the city officials say, well, we ain't got to pay this fool because we ain't got a rat problem no more, so screw this guy, and they don't pay him. So he says, all right, well, since you ain't going to pay me, I'm gonna take all your children. You know what I mean? So, and he uses his flute music. He leads all the children out of the town. So it's just like, for him to take on a pseudonym or to take on a name like the Pied Piper is, to me, kind of telling of what his intentions are. What do you think?
I definitely, if the victims that we saw in the documentary are to be believed, and I tend to, believe their stories, I think he's despicable. I think that he is going to jail because it's what he deserves. Yes, I think that he is an abuser. He's a predator. He took advantage of people with low self-esteem, a very damaged sense of self-worth. He knew that he was doing this. He specifically went to go look for these people and pick them out. And
now,
yeah,
I don't think there's any argument of, Jennifer and I, we've been going back all day about a particular point. And is R. Kelly a predator? Yes. Is R. Kelly intentional? Yes. Is R. Kelly wicked? Yes. Does R. Kelly have problems? Yes. However, I do think there is somewhat of another side to the story. And that other side is, like in the Surviving R. Kelly series, they go into some of his problems. They start out with the fact that this is a broken man. He was sexually abused himself. I want to say his mother died, and he was in a situation where he was abused. So obviously this guy is broken. Obviously he sees his own innocence as something that has been taken from him, and in that he doesn't mind taking the innocence of children. However, I tend to think that from watching the Surviving R. Kelly documentary, that there are a lot of people who want to point the finger at R. Kelly. And I do think there's enough blame that he should own. But I think there's also some blame for his staff. I think there's some blame for the people around him. I think that a lot of the times the music industry itself condones the type of behavior of preying on young people. Because R. Kelly first came out when we were young.
Yeah.
So his music wasn't for the adults. His music was for us. Was for us. So I think there's a lot of blame to go around. I often find myself wondering where were the parents of some of these kids, and I find myself wanting to maybe draw attention to some of the people that pursued R. Kelly. Now, this is excluding how do you say underage kids?
Children.
Well,
children. Let's just call it what it is. These were some of these.
I want to say this excludes minors. Okay. If you're a minor, no matter how smart you think you are, no matter how abreast you think you are, you're not ready for the world. I don't care who, unless you're some child soldier somewhere in some third world country and you've just been made to grow up so fast and in the way of killing people, you're not ready for the world. So, we all were kids at one time. We all were young teenagers at one time. And when I was 16, I thought I knew it all. Mm-hmm. And, I didn't know no other 16, 17-year-old teenager who didn't think they knew it all. So I kind of would like to spend a little time talking about that part and how much responsibility not necessarily falls on children, because it's kind of hard because we all know fast-ass little kids, that wear clothes they shouldn't and act in ways they shouldn't. But at the same time, does that mean that they deserve to be victimized? No. Does it mean that they deserve to be pursued by grown-ups, 18 years and older? No, it does not mean that. But I also feel in a way that everybody around R. Kelly is there to victimize him. Everybody that's around R. Kelly is around him to get something from him. There's nobody going after R. Kelly. Staff, groupies, sponsors, event planners, commercial or any otherwise. There's nobody that's pursuing any relationship with R. Kelly because they because they love the dude. So, does he feel like because everybody's out to victimize me, it's okay to victimize others? Now that's psycho, right? But I'm just trying to get into the mind of this particular character in a way where, in a way to express that I feel like, if you were pursuing R. Kelly and R. Kelly is abusing you, are you staying with R. Kelly because you love R. Kelly? Or are you staying with R. Kelly because you feel like this dude is the top dude around, and man, I want to be next to this dude because he's shining right now? And I tend to feel like if this was Rollo or Marcus at the grocery store, half these women wouldn't deal with half the stuff that he put them through. But because it's R. Kelly, because he's the man, he's writing for Michael Jackson, he's performing with, Jay-Z, and because he's the man at the time, that people are kind of dismissing and looking the other way when it comes to him. Even mainly his victims are looking the other way because it's R. Kelly. And for that, I feel like some blame should also be spread. I mean,
you feel that some blame should go to the victims. Okay, now look, I understand.
Blame, responsibility, acknowledgement. I mean, this by no way is absolving R. Kelly. This guy is a monster. He's a devil. But it's like, what kind of people want to hang with the devil? It's really kind of like what I'm getting at.
I understand what you're saying, but I think what I was trying to get you to see too is like abuse is insidious. It doesn't just, I mean, I'm sure had R. Kelly come to the victims and was like, you know, I want to take advantage of you. I want power and control.
I don't know,
over
depending
you.
on who it was. If he came to somebody and said, I want to pee on you, some people are like, oh, hell yeah, I'm with that. I mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, granted, I you know, in my opinion, I think the victim, what year that was, from 2008. You can look it up and maybe, you know, correct it when you edit it. But I forget what year that was. I think it was maybe 2004 or 3 or something. I don't know. But anyway, that victim, who was a little girl, I don't think that she was in a right mind. The little girl that he peed on.
Look, I cannot say this enough.
That's disgusting.
I cannot say this enough. I'm excluding minors. If you are any way going after minors, 13, 14, 15, 16,
you're disgusting.
You are a piece of shit. I cannot say that enough. But there's staff, there's people that work for this man, there's security, there's bookers, there's media people. After we all have seen this video, and I want to say it was like 90 something, and this video came out. This dude ain't even reached the level of stardom yet. It's after that this guy skyrockets to like the highest heights. And all I'm saying is, are we as a community, do we share some blame for saying, oh, this nigga made remix to Ignition? I don't know, like, I know, like, I mean, what I'm saying?
I did like that
song. We stepping in the name of love. Get that nigga a pat. That's what I'm saying, like,
right.
Are we partially, it's easy because the spotlight is on Robert Sylvester Kelly. The spotlight's on him. We all in the dark. And they ain't looking at us. But we all are responsible for R. Kelly, for his existence. Especially the black community. And I'm part of the black community.
Yeah.
I got Step in the Name of Love on my Spotify this moment. You feel me? And whenever it come on, trust you me, I put it on repeat. You feel me? And I'm just, I ain't even gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a documentary about R. Kelly a couple of years ago, and while I'm getting to the part of his music, I'm like, we're having a good time finding music and putting into the video because I'm like, dude, this is knocking right now. So it's just like, I want us all. This is what I want. I want us all to say, he ain't the only guilty party, and there's a part of me that even wants to say that R. Kelly was looking for accountability. Like I think R. Kelly is out of control, and I think he's looking for somebody to knock him upside the head, to catch him slipping, beat him down, and say, "What the are you doing? Why you with my why you with my daughter?" And I think we all have done things in the world and gotten away with stuff, knowing good and well we had no business getting away with it. And it doesn't matter how long you get away with doing something. When you get caught, there's a part of you that goes, I deserve to get caught. Thank you for stopping me.
And that is true. And I think that what I was telling you earlier, I think that's what people don't like, is that he still, even now, I think you sent me an article where he's not taking responsibility for these actions. Yeah. He has even gone so far to say that he's disappointed in the verdict. Like he is not even admitting to anything.
R. Kelly, bro, you are a
this
class
is why
act,
people.
bro.
I think people are just kind of just done.
But I mean, but see, when you have some of the same black women that he's victimizing saying, R. Kelly, like at his criminal trial, you know, that is sending a message to this man. I mean, look, by no means do I think R. Kelly is not responsible. I want to tell y'all that just straight up. I'm not saying that the dude is not the devil incarnate, but what I am suggesting is that there are other parties responsible, like people who pursue him, women. I mean, I was watching a video the other day of O.J. Simpson. And O.J. Simpson was surrounded by white, blonde-headed women. And he was jiving with them and partying. This is 20, 30 years after Nicole Brown is in the ground. You feel me? And people don't care that this guy, I mean, most white people think he did it. Most black people are like, nah, he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But most white people is like, he did it. And it's like, that being what it is, people still don't care because it's OJ. And we are partially responsible for creating an environment in which these people can feel they can get away with murder, molestation. I mean, there's been rumors swirling around Hollywood for years about, it's called Pizzagate or something, where you order a pizza and a young child show up to your room. I mean, there are rumors of child pornography and child trafficking and sex trafficking that's just, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein was able to operate with impunity for years. And he's known to have some relationships with some of the highest echelon of people in the world. So, you know, it's easy to be like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein, that's the worst man in the world. Meanwhile, you're like, man, my appointment got canceled because Jeffrey Epstein got caught. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people. R. Kelly ain't being R. Kelly by himself. He ain't partying by himself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a remix to Ignition, it's a party scene. Everybody's in there, you know what I'm saying, throwing up and popping bottles and, you know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, it's like, man, you know, how hypocritical are we to point the finger at R. Kelly when we are in a way helping to, and I ain't even talking about this all day. This is new. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about victims all day. Like, oh, well, she shouldn't have hooked up with him, and he starved her for 3 days, and I ain't anybody starving me for 3 days. Like, I've been kind of bashing victims all day on some where's your common sense. And if this was Rollo at the post office or Marcus at Piggly Wiggly at the Kroger's grocery store, ain't no way you would take no mess from.
But on the same token, if this was Rollo from the Piggly Wiggly or whatever, he would have been in trouble a long time ago for this kind of stuff. There would be no question as to whether he did it or not. And in fact, whether he did it or not, they would have thrown the book at him, because this is R. Kelly. You know, he has been able to operate this way.
And that's kind of what I'm
impunity.
saying is that there's more people responsible. You know, when this young girl came up missing, and forgive me for not knowing her name, but it's been all in the media. Now they're looking for the boyfriend because they think he did it, and it's like, instead of charging him for murder, they charged this fool for taking money out of her account after she was missing. But they got a all points bulletin, FBI search out for a dude for running a ATM card. Come on, dude. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's like, there is scrutiny of the police who pulled them over after a fight, that they may have done more, or they should have done more. If they would have done more when they pulled them over while she was alive, she maybe still would be alive today. So all I'm saying is, R. Kelly is despicable, but we have a society where we value drug dealers more than we do teachers, to be honest. Now, nobody's going to come out and say that, but let your dope run out. And it's a lot of people watching me who get high in a whole lot of different ways. And let your liquor run out, let your dope run out, and you're going to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think our values in this country are just a little backwards. And, you know, it's easy to point the finger at the boogeyman that they tell you to be angry at. And this week, it just so happens to be R. Kelly. But how are we contributing to a world where R. Kelly can survive? Because if this was the Middle East, They would have cut this nigga's dick off already. Like,
well, I'm gonna tell you, I hear that now he's gonna try to appeal this decision. So I guess we'll see then in the end what.
I mean, but even if he does appeal,
what the courts say, what America says, we'll see.
This guy has enough money where he can delay his sentencing. He can he can if he can get out on bail, which that's a stretch because they wouldn't even let this fool out on bail for COVID related incidents and so. You know, there's no question that R. Kelly is wrong. But I just feel like R. Kelly does not exist in a vacuum.
No, he doesn't. But, you know, in the end, he's the one who was determined to do these things.
Right.
To make he went as far as to make it happen, to orchestrate people going to find victims.
Yeah, but
I'm disgusted at that.
Look. As you should. But I heard a story about O.J. Simpson that Nicole Brown Simpson's parents pretty much offered her up to him. So it's like when men have power, people in this country, for some reason, even in the world, when people have power, people just kind of lose their common sense and they lose their minds.
Yeah, I don't agree. Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, for a 13-year-old girl to be victimized and for her own parents to be like, oh, say that wasn't you.
Yeah, I thought that was horrible.
You know,
I do blame.
But nobody's talking about that. Everybody's like, well, Kelly's despicable, and he is. But what about the parents that would victimize their own child that way? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the parent? You know, black girls in particularly are undervalued in our society, and black girls in our society often suffer from not having enough love. I mean, the boys do too. But not like the sisters do. And I feel like what situation is being created in our homes that allow for an R. Kelly to exist?
Yeah.
What are we doing in our homes where our young daughters don't have enough self-esteem to notice the devil when they see him?
Yeah.
And to be like, well, you know, it's better for me to get abused by a man in a 4-5-star hotel than to be, you know, ignored at home by my parents because they got to work because they're too busy chasing a bag, or I'm in a single parent household and my daddy don't love me. Like, those are things. See, R. Kelly is like the tip of the iceberg. R. Kelly is the manifestation of a problem. But what's the problem? And the problem is that we're not taking care of our kids. Michael Jackson say, what's the song you say? Fudge, I can't think. Do you know where your babies are? Or, you know, do you know where your children are at a certain time of night? I mean, R. Kelly, Michael Jackson was accused of messing around with kids too, but I'm just saying, like, where are your children at?
Yeah.
Like, you know, knock on wood, I don't have no kids. You
well,
feel me?
I do, so I feel very strongly about this case. You know, I have a daughter. I mean, she's a young adult now, but, you know, I think about when she was 12 and 13, and it just sickens me. I'm sorry, but bottom line, I think we have to do better, America.
Yes. I don't see nothing wrong. That shit ain't funny, y'all. I'm just saying. Look, R. Kelly, bruh. You know, I think I'm gonna just be explicit, bro. You fucked yourself up. You did this to yourself, and you know, for you to have everything and throw it away because you couldn't seek help or because you couldn't. Now, I'm not trying. Hey, we all got problems, and his brother got the nerve to say in the video, everybody got their preference. Like, children can't be your preference, bro. This is not Sizzler in the fucking smorgasbord or the buffet. You know, I don't want no chicken. I want some fish. This is not that. So, you know, like I said, I was never really an R. Kelly fan, but I admire any black man that's built himself up. Any black man that has made something of himself is an example to all other black men. So I can't take no king shit away from no king. But bro, to king yourself and to play yourself over some underage girls, what's wrong with 18-year-old? Like an 18-year-old is just as impressionable as a 17-year-old, bro. Like,
that is just awful.
I'm just saying, we just talking about legal, like, bro, like,
Cut.
you know what I'm saying? Like, a 20-year-old, bro, is just as impressionable.
Cut.
A 20-year-old got just as low self-esteem as a 17-year-old, bro. Trust me.
No.
Anyway, y'all, like, forgive me. I mean, just saying, like, this shit don't make no sense to me, bro. Like, anyway, do you have any more you need to share? We've been going back and forth all day.
Disgusting.
You probably who? Big R. Kelly?
Yes, that's my bottom
Look,
line.
bro, I mean,
I don't care what reasons. I don't care what led up to it. I don't care what circumstances created the environment.
See,
In
wait.
You're disgusting.
Wait. I'm gonna say this, and this is not. It's like Jennifer and I have been talking about victims and abuse all day long, and it's a little hypocritical not to. It's a little hypocritical not to acknowledge his abuse.
Okay, no, I will.
Now he is grown, nigga, and you're responsible for the shit you do when you do shit. But to be fair across the board in discussing abuse, R. Kelly was abused.
Okay.
R. Kelly was abused. The brother didn't know how to read. That's what I'm saying. He has some issues going on, and that's why I chose a broader angle, because this is a problem that we all contribute in creating.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? And I have to say this before we end. It's even more. That fact makes it even more disgusting because he used these things in order to confide in his victims to draw them closer to him.
I get that. But for some, you are one of the people that I know you are the least judgmental person that I know. And R. Kelly his actions are without, I think, reprieve, or without his actions are beyond redemption. But in honesty, I'm just being honest with the world at this point. The brother has some problems, just like his victims had problems. His victims didn't come from health. This is not an issue of healthy people.
Right.
Okay. Everybody in this situation is unhealthy.
Yeah.
He unhealthy. His victims are unhealthy. The system is unhealthy. The court system is unhealthy. So I'm just keeping real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like this fool is doing this in Palos Verdes. It's not like he's doing this in upscale Washington. He's choosing a certain victim that come from the same community that he comes from.
Ugh.
You feel me? And if we were just keeping it real, like, I don't think the nigga should get less time in jail because of it. I don't think he should be able to weasel his way out of it, but there are young boys and young men and young women, because women abuse people too sexually. There are high school teachers that are victimizing young boys.
Yeah.
There are young boys that are sleeping with their teachers, men and women. So how do we create a dialogue where we prevent further victims if we're not willing to address the stigmas and the associations and the mental health that's going into...
Well, I think for one, we start by
throwing niggas in jail,
punishing the perpetrators to let people know that we don't accept this type of behavior.
Well, I agree with that, but in addition to that, I think we also start to talk about the conditions that are creating some of these sicknesses.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because how do we stop it? How do we prevent it? How do we generate a dialogue? Of course, a nigga ain't never gonna come out and say, yeah, I did it. If he think the first thing... Now, granted, after you got victims, bro, it's victims. You need to pay.
You have victim after victim
after
victim.
You know, there's a story that his brother's telling when his brother's like, you know, he tried to tell me about it. And I was like, that didn't happen. When R. Kelly was trying to tell his brother, because he knew if he told his mom, his mother wouldn't believe him. Well, what would have happened if his brother would have embraced him?
Yeah.
What would happen if his mother would have came to his rescue? Maybe we wouldn't have all these victims today.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, the shit happened, but how do we generate a dialogue that makes it where we heal? You feel me? Because it's definitely in the black community, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done.
Yes.
And I don't mean going to church and praying to Jesus. I mean, that's okay, but there's a lot of healing that needs to be done.
Yes.
So
active healing, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I want to put that out there. We ain't just here to bash. I mean, she is. We ain't just here to bash R. Kelly.
Yeah, I am.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're here to talk about issues, and I mean, remember, we're trying to be better people. We're trying to learn how to love and be deal in good faith and forgive each other, forgive other people, because that is healthy healing.
All right, I could forgive you, R. Kelly, but you're disgusting.
I mean, I'm not even saying to forgive the dude. I'm just saying let's start a dialogue so we can start to understand ourselves. And I mean, R. Kelly, your ship to sail, bro. It's a wrap. But it's those of us who are not in such a bad situation, and we can learn from this example. Okay. You know, R. Kelly just doesn't have to be an L for the community. Mm-hmm. We can learn from the situation, and we can move forward, and we can start to notice abusive patterns before they get this bad. We can
embrace our children more and love them.
Right.
They can have love, so they can.
So they don't seek out the Pied Piper to play beautiful music for them. So like all of this is relative. I think this is why we chose to have a discussion about it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose weight a little bit. Thank you very much, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Thank you guys. If you like the drip, again, this is my Martin Luther King / Obama Malcolm X shirt. The printer printed a little dark, but it's still a dope shirt. Creative1.com, creative1.com, creative ONE. I keep saying it, Creative Customs. Look, y'all can go to Creative One. Like, you don't even know how to promote his own stuff. Creative One Customs, Creative1 Customs, Creative ONE Customs. .com. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Tonight was a little long. I'll try to edit it where it does not kill you, because nobody has attention spans nowadays. So I'll try to make it bearable. But thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jeffrey Wadley.
I'm Jennifer Bim.
And peace out. Free R. Kelly. No,
you know what?